All right. As we're about to get started.
Recording in progress.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Greetings, greetings, family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing on this beautiful evening? This is the end of the evening of July 27th, 2027. This is July 27th, 2027. And this is Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. This is Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. And tonight's topic we're going to do again, but we're going to do a number two. This is 400-year contract complete. 400 year con 400-year contract complete number two. That's what it's going to be called. 400-year contract complete number two. This is number two. This is the second one about the 400-year contract. So this is really a conclusion of what we did last quote unquote Monday. Last Mikael's Knowledge of Truth, which was last week. This is the conclusion. So right now we're going to start off with the prayer. And after we start off with the prayer, we're going to go on into the information. We're going to lead up from where we went last week and what we're going to get into this week, according to the conclusion of the 400-year prophecy, being a 400-year contract being completed. 400-year contract complete, right? Number two. This is not part two, number two, which is the conclusion. All right. So we're gonna start off with our prayer. We go from there. Blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help lead and guide others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, which is your spirit, and your way. We ask you to keep your armor protection around us. Keep us in every way that we may be protected, that we may have no fear, and that we have that no weapon may come be formed or come against us, that we may walk in your way, walk in your laws at all times. We also, Father, ask you to forgive us and help us in every way. Forgive us for the sins that we have done against you, your laws, and your way, and that us, our ancestors, have done up until this day and time. We ask you to awaken us that we may see and understand your law, that we may do your will. We also ask you, Father, to allow us to understand your blessings in Deuteronomy 28, verse 1 through 14, and to understand the curses that we're in, that we're coming out of in this day and time, which is in Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. We thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, the plan to do. We bless you, praise you, and thank you, and ask you to help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. And all these things we pray and thank you for another beautiful day. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise you, Almighty. Praise you, Father. All right. All right, y'all. This right here, tonight, shall I say, we're still in the end of the day. So in this evening, we're going to start we're going to share the key component to the reason why we're talking about the 400 year in the first place, right? Now, for those who don't know, the 400 year that it's speaking of is out of Genesis chapter 15, verse 12 through 14. And all three of these go together. Last week, I started off with the beginning. I started off reading from Genesis 1 all the way through to let you understand it was a promise given to Abram. It was a promise given to Abram about his seed, how his seed, right here it says in, that's the land right there. He said, this is the Yah promised Abram. Verse 1, chapter 15 and 1. I'm not going to do the whole thing because y'all can check out some of that last week. I'm just kind of go through everything so you can get an understanding of, if you don't know what the 400 years is about, and you don't have an understanding, if you don't read the Bible, if you don't know, we're about to get some understanding. We gave understanding last week, but we're going to the ending of it this week. And part 1 and part 2 last week was very beneficial and very knowledgeable, according to prophecy, according to the things that we went through, where we're at, and where we're going. So again, chapter 15 and 1. Genesis 15 and 1 states, it says, after these things, the word of Yah came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am the creator. I am thy shield and thy exceedingly great reward. This is Abram that he's talking to before his name was changed to Abraham. And Abram said, and Abram right here in verse 2 said, and Abram said, I like to say Yah, according to Psalm 68 and 4. Say, Yah, what would thou give me, seeing I go childless? I go childless. And then to break it down, he told me he got a steward in his household, but the Creator told him in verse 4, and behold, the word of Yah came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, which is the Eliezer, which is his steward in his house, in Abram's house. He said, this shall not be thine heir, but that shall come forth out of thine own bowels, shall be thy heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now towards heaven. Check this out. And tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yah, and he which is Yah counted it to him for righteousness, because he believed in the Creator's word, even though he didn't have a son or didn't have a child at the time. So the prophecy starts right here in verse 7. And he said unto Abram, I am Yah that brought thee out of the land of Ur, out of Ur of the Chaldeans, to give thee this land to inherit it. Now, I'm going to give you the understanding real quick as we go through this. Now he's about to do a ritual. And he said, Almighty Yah, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? Talking about the land that he's in. He's not in Egypt. He's in the land of Canaan at this time. So what happened was he had to do a ritual. In verse 9, it said he had said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, a sheep goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now, right here in verse 12 is Abram fell asleep when it says when the sun was going down, as I always share. At 12 noon, the sun started going down. And when the sun down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness. Now that was at that time was happening in today's. That deep sleep and the horror of great darkness is what happened to us. And I went to chapter 60, Isaiah 60. And I'm not going to go through that this time. I'm giving you an understanding as we move, because I'm giving you a feedback from last week and what we're going to come into now. So, but the whole concept is about this chapter right here. This chapter right here. That's when the Creator told him in verse 1, I am thy exceedingly great reward. So, he talked about the stars of heaven. Can you be able to number them? No, he said that's how your seed gonna be. That means that's his children, Abram's children, which is through Abram, which is still Ishmael. Ishmael is his child, but he's not the established child or children, but all of them are established because they're through his seed. So then we have not only Ishmael, we have Isaac, which is the established son that actually had Esau and Jacob. Esau and Jacob is the established children, which both of them had the dominion of the earth. Both of them had the dominion of the earth. And this is when you go into chapter 27 of Genesis, but we ain't going there just yet because I'm just taking you step by step at this moment. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm taking you step by step. But just let you understand, when you go to Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, 2, and 3, it tells you, arise, shine, for thy light has come, and the glory of Yah shall be seen upon thee. That's shine is Israel in this day and time. When I say this day, I don't mean today. I mean in the time of Jim Crow and in the time of the slavery. When we was in physical slavery, and in the time of Jim Crow, when we was coming out of slavery, when the Caucasian, or when they see some of our children, they say, let me feel your head shine, let me rub your head and get some good luck. That's what they used to say to our children in the South, and our people in the South. They used to call men shine and other different names as well, which is bywords and proverbs, right? Excuse me. Which is bywords and proverbs. They used to give us names by. So this is where the deep sleep, and this is what he saw. And when the sun, in verse 12, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. That horror is what we're coming out of right now. We didn't know our land, our language, our heritage, nor our culture. And this is the iniquity that we was in under the third and fourth generation, which is world power generation, which is the Greek and the Roman Empire. That's time and times and the dividing of times, or just half times half. The half time is the 400 years. The Greek, the Roman, then the 400 years that we were in, that we just come out of. 1619 to 2019. Then the judgment came in 2020. As I shared last week, which the four judgments of the Creator is in Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 12 through 23. Starting at verse 12. Breaks it down. I shared it last week. You want to see it? Go back there and check out the original title without number 2, because today is number 2. All right? And right there it said, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon him, Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. This is the 400 years we just come out of. All right? The 400 years from 1619 to 2019 on record. 2020 was the judgment which we're about to see. It says at the end of 13, is not there, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. 14, and also that nation, and that nation is the nation of Rome worldwide. It's the nation of Rome, which is the Roman Empire worldwide. The nation is the Roman Empire because everybody in the world today has the Roman mindset. Rome has consumed all things. Just like steel, when it turns to rust, it consumed, should I say. So, and then in 14 says, and also that nation, which is the Roman Empire, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. That was the coronavirus. That was the coronavirus in 2020. And that was the judgment of pestilence. And in Ezekiel chapter 36, Ezekiel chapter 14. Ezekiel chapter 14, it talks about the 4 sword judgments of the Creator. You had the noisome beasts, which is the animals that will come through the land. You have the sword, which is war. You had the war. You had famine, which people would have no type of food to eat, and they would start to eat their own children. Things like that would happen and has happened. And the last is the pestilence. The pestilence is the sickness, blood. People got sick behind the pestilence. All right. That's what happened in 2020 throughout the earth. All right. Says, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. That's one of his judgments. And what we're coming into now, what we're coming to right now. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And afterwards, they're going to come out with great substance. We're on our way to the great substance right now. All right. Far as I know, one portion of the great substance, I ain't going to say this is it, but one portion of the great substance is your Q-sips and your, excuse me, your account that was made for you at birth. Your account that was made for you at birth that many of you are waking up to, but many of you don't know anything about. We have introduction to solving class of knowledge right now every last Tuesday for those who are serious. Right now, every last Tuesday of the month. If you're interested, please text me your name and your email at 770-572-5315. Again, that's 770-572-5315. If you text me your name and your email and say you want to know more about the Zoom and also the solving class of knowledge, text that to me. When you text me your information, I will send you the invitation to the Zooms. You'll have all my Zooms plus that one, because that one is private. We only do Zoom and Zoom only. We don't put it out in public. It's private. All right. If you choose and want to know more about it. So that's your choice if you're interested. So, and you can also email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. Again, that's lkhyym@gmail.com. Excuse me. Please text me your name, number, and email, and also and say you want to know more about the Zoom classes and the introduction to solving class of knowledge or the solving class, and we'll go from there. So that's one that I know of. Other than that, it's the earth and the fullness thereof that's going to be given to us. Everyone is going to be following us. Israel. This is prophecy, and it says. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. That's us. This is the key to the title that we have tonight and that we had last week, and that I shared getting on because there was a little sister sharing information about it, and I made 3 shorts behind that as well. So, but what I would like for you to understand is they came out when they came out of Egypt. This was a twofold prophecy. I'm gonna give you that right now before we move. This was a twofold prophecy. The last happened first, and the first happened last. The one from 12 to 14 is going on now, and we just coming out of it, but we haven't got to the last part of it, which is the great substance. Now, 15 through 16 or 15 through 17. This was the 4th generation when all the children came down and they grew in Egypt, and they came out of Egypt and then went into the land, like it says right here. When it says right here, and he brought him forth when he said about the land, what he say? And he said unto him in verse 7, and Abram said unto him, Yah said unto him, I am Yah that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give thee this land to inherit it. That land is the land of Canaan. That is called the land of Canaan. But the point is, that's the land that was given to Abram at the time to bring from Egypt. They went into that land at the time. But the fullness of the earth is the Creator's land. The fullness, and wherever you're born in this day and time, you have an inheritance there. So, just wanted to share that, but to give you clear understanding, let me read on down verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Now, this is after that prophecy. Now he's telling about he's going to go to his fathers in peace, and check it out. Say, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But 16 is your key for the second prophecy and when they had went into Egypt. But in the 4th generation, they shall come hither again. They're going to come into the land again where he's at, that they're going to inherit. They should come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So they're going to go into Egypt when Joseph was in Egypt. They're going to grow in Egypt. And then they're going to leave with Moses into the wilderness. And then Joshua going to bring them to the land in the fourth generation. Now, how is it the fourth generation? He said in the fourth generation, what he said, but in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So the fourth generation, let's start with you. Abraham is the first. Isaac is the second. Jacob and Esau is the third, or that was the third generation. And then the fourth generation is the children of Israel. When they grew in Egypt and then left Egypt, went into the land, and that was the fourth generation at that time. So, and then on that, they left the 430 years, not 400 years, 430 years. All right? You'll find that in Exodus chapter 12, around the ending point of Exodus chapter 12 or 13, or either, or you may find them in both. But it'll show you that they came out in 430 years. The Father is precise in when he speaks. When he says something, he tell you like it is, and he's precise when he tell you. So when he said 400 years, that's talking about what's happening today. So now, as we move on, I shared that. Then I went into I believe I went into Esau and Jacob last week, letting y'all understand the blessing. It was a blessing that was given. I don't know if I shared that last week or not. I can't remember. But I'd be going all over the book. But I do remember, I always share that Esau and Jacob is who the promise came through. Jacob got the blessing first, but Esau got the blessing last. The last should be first, and the first should be last. Excuse me. The last should be first, and the first should be last. So even though Esau got the blessing last, when Isaac gave him his blessing, he told him the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. Then he said, he shall have the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. Then he said, by thy sword shall thou live. By your sword shall you live. And that's how he's been doing, pillaging all throughout the earth. Today is spiritual, because Esau, even though they call him the quote unquote white man, it's the spirit of Esau, because you got many people that's joined to his government. Let me put it like that. Many nations are joined to his government. And as long as you're committing war, no matter how big or small it is, you are prolonging Esau's kingdom. Know it or not. As long as you are committing and permitting war, you are prolonging Esau's kingdom. So, excuse me. So just to get it on record, Esau and Jacob was born in Genesis 25. They were born, I think started verse 19. And then the father told Rebekah that two nations are in thy womb, two manner of people. One gonna be stronger than the other. According to the system, the way they got things set, they're stronger than us. But according to the weather, and that we're stronger than him, according to that. Right? But when it comes to war and stuff like that, he got us. But the whole point is, when you go to Genesis, I'm giving you timeline, so I don't have to go. If I go through it, I'll start reading it like I started here. If you go to Genesis 27, well, first Genesis 25 talk about the birth of both of the children. Then Genesis 27 gives you where the blessings came, where Rebekah overheard Isaac. Excuse me. Where Rebekah overheard Isaac saying, because the father told her the elder is going to serve the younger. And this we got to realize, we got to recognize the timeline of what's being said. And no matter what's being said, we got to understand what happened. The father told her that the elder is going to serve the younger. When it came time that Esau told he was blind, And he told, Isaac was blind. He told Esau to go make that good venison so I can bless you. Rebecca heard it. So she dressed a kid up and put on Jacob, told Jacob to go in and get the blessing. Jacob got blessed, long story short. He told Jacob, the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. And all people may bow down to you. Paraphrasing. All people may bow down to your brethren, and all people will bow down to you, right? So that's in Genesis 27, verse 28 and 29. Then in 39 and 40 of Genesis 27, this is where Esau came in, and he told Isaac to bless him also. And this when he turned it around. He said, he shall have the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. Told Jacob he should have the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. So by him telling my point of view, he gave Esau the fatness of the earth first, which he got the fatness of the earth first. And then he said, by thy sword shalt thou live. By thy sword shalt thou live. And then, he said, when thou hast broken the yoke off thy neck and gained the dominion. So you're going to gain the dominion. He broke the yoke of his brother off his neck. He gained the dominion of the earth, and he's in the dominion of the earth right now. Esau has dominion of the earth. So we're gaining dominion through the Spirit of the Father. If y'all heard about all these quote unquote deaths going on in Europe, the atmosphere, the Spirit of the Father is bringing our attention and bringing us back spiritually within ourselves. And it's happening. We and my wife just saw a couple of videos showing where the sun is poisoning or disrupting the Caucasians. And I have nothing to do with that. My main thing is I'm telling you the truth about what's going on this day and time. All the hell that's been done against us with these people in all nations, which I did go into Revelations chapter 11 last week as well. Revelation chapter 11 really broke down and showed you the two witnesses, which is Judah and Israel. I can say Jacob and Israel, but I'll say Judah and Israel, because Judah is dead Israel. Israel is spiritual Israel. So I can say I can say Jacob and Israel. Jacob is dead Israel. Judah is Israel spiritually, for all those who have awoken. So those are the two witnesses, but I could just say Judah, because Judah being the head and Israel itself. Israel is the other nations. Either or, it's still all Israel. They're the two witnesses. They're the two witnesses that died. And they didn't die physically, they died mentally. Many of us died physically. Many of our people died physically. But mentally is how we was dead and we was put to sleep. We lost our land. We lost our language. We lost our heritage. We lost our culture. The way we're living now is the culture of the Roman Empire. And then I think I shared a little bit of chapter 13, which I might share tonight, even though I've done that plenty of times. So, let me see. I went into Isaiah 60. Tonight, I don't know if I went into Ezekiel chapter 36, but I plan to go there. I plan on going to Ezekiel chapter 37 tonight. But let's jump back. And I also was sharing a little bit about how they tricked the world with Jesus. I believe I was sharing a little bit of that last week and a little bit last night. They tricked the world with Jesus. Let me see, what else I'm trying to remember, because I went through some things last night. The Spirit just had me moving last week, shall I say. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up from right here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick up from where I left off at in part 2 was, and I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I'm going to show you portions. Oh yeah, I did. I went through Daniel. I went through Daniel to show you the difference about the world powers and how the 400 years came about. I went through Daniel chapter 2 to show you the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. I went through Daniel chapter 7 to show you the day that we're in and what had happened and how the system came about. And then I also went to Daniel chapter 8 to show you about the system, which is the kingdom, is a kingdom, which was a system, which a lot of people may not understand. Excuse me. Why these? I guess I'd be tired from running around all day. Okay, 36 right here. This I'm gonna come back to this because I want to show you. This is the point. This is the end of it all. This is what's happening today. A lot of people can't see it. A lot of people can't see Ezekiel 36, but I'm gonna come back to that. Let's see where else we're going. I said we was going up here to, was it Daniel? Then I'm going to Revelations. But Daniel, I did go through this. This is how they took over the earth. I'm just going to give you Daniel 2, 39 and 40 so you can understand how they took over the earth. Daniel 2 and 39 says, 39. And after thee, which is after Nebuchadnezzar, which is the head of gold. Let me hit that last part of 38. It says, 38. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts, wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven have he given unto thine hand, and has made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold. That right there was Nebuchadnezzar, which is the first world empire, the first world generation. Thou art this head of gold. And in 39 states, and after thee shall arise another kingdom, which is the Medes and the Persians, which is of the silver, Medes and the Persians. Shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and after and another third kingdom of brass. That third kingdom of brass is what? The Greeks. That's the Greeks. The fourth generation, the fourth world powers. There's only 4 world generations, 4 world powers. Another kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. This the first times. They bear rule over the whole earth. And then the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And this is what Rome has done. Rome has subdued everything, every culture, all 3 of those all 3 of those other empires, as well as other nationalities, information, things like that. They consumed it and made it a part of them. All right. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. That's the iron. That's the Roman Empire. So, and then when you go to 7, it's another point that I shared. In 23, it tells you directly. 7 and 23 says, and he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom. The 4th beast shall be the 4th. Y'all already talking about mark of the beast? The 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom, and it should be diverse, which is different from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Right? I'm bringing y'all up to speed from last week, just in case if y'all don't even go see it, just giving you understanding that how he break it in pieces is because if they took over the world and they got over the continents. In the continents, you have countries, And then in the country, you have states and cities, if they call them that. You have rural areas, you have towns, you have streets, you have city and districts, you have districts and counties. I'm putting everything together that you understand all this of the Roman Empire. You have streets, towns, you have blocks, neighborhoods, you have houses that has an address on it that they control. All this is part of the Roman Empire. All the way down to you and your birth certificate and your social security card and your ID card. They control everything until you come out. Until you come out. So that's when it says in 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth. The fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse, is different from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. The whole earth, right? And shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And this is how he did it. From continents all the way down to your address at your house, and then further than that, to the child that's coming from between your legs, that you slap the birth certificate, ID card, birth certificate, social security card, and then an ID card when he got old enough. There you go. Then it breaks down more, but I'm not trying to go into it tonight because I did it last week. But I'm just sharing with you all the things that happen. Then we went over here to 8 and 23, showing you that the kingdom, and 23 real quick. Y'all need to go check out the other one because I shared it. It got a lot of information there. 23, 8 and 23, Daniel 8 and 23 states, and in the latter time of their kingdom, who? The beast. When the transgressors are to come to the fore, this is us. Israel are the transgressors of the Creator and of the law. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the fore, a king of fierce countenance. That's the Roman Empire. And understanding dark sentences shall stand up. This is you and your courts. Do you understand do you understand the charges that have been held against you? You think they talking about the charges, they talking about something else. Dark sentences. Many dark sentences they use. Just so y'all know. So that's just another point that I shared last week as well. So I just sharing this. These are the prophecies of the things that's going to happen according to us being in the 400 years. Now we'll go to Revelations. Now we'll jump right on over here to Revelations. And I shared Revelation chapter 13 before I go to 11. I'm going to hit you 14, I'll hit 13 first. Revelation 13, 1 and 11. Now, I didn't go through that last week, but I'm thinking about going through just to share with you what they did, how they came in power. United States being the second beast, and starting at verse 11. So let me just break it down real quick because I didn't do this last week. And I was doing a little bit of it last night, but I was too tired to really carry on because when I say I was tired, I was tired. All right. And this is what the world doesn't know. And I got to say, I haven't sent this to my sister yet. I haven't sent these links to my sister yet. I got to send these to her. But I've been putting this out for the longest anyway. A lot of people don't pay no attention. So, Revelation 13, and then I'm going to go to 11. All right. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to do Revelation 13. Then I'm going to show y'all Revelations 11. All right. But before I do that, let me go to 12 to give you an understanding as we go into 13. Then I'm going to do 11. Then from there, I'm going to go into the spiritual part afterwards because this is how they took it over, how we got consumed in it. And then after that, it's now how we're coming out in this day and time. We're coming out spiritually. We're coming out spiritually. And the spirit of the Father is coming upon us, not a man. This was the lie that the world has been given through the Council of Nicaea. This right here. I'm going to show you that right here too. Thank you, Father. Good. I'm glad we're right here. I can break this down for you. So first we're going to start in the great red dragon, which is Esau. Which is still Esau, but which is the Greeks. Esau is the Greeks and the Romans. All right? They're cousins, friends, well, they're not friends, they're cousins or family members, some type of way, but both of them is Esau. So, right here, it says the great red dragon. This is Revelation 12, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Those seven crowns is kingdoms. Crowns are kingdoms. The horns are powers. The horns are powers. And the 7 heads is the 7 continents. The 7 heads is the 7 continents which they went and took over all over the earth, right? And how they do it? Through who? Alexander the Greek. Alexander the Greek went around and it was conquering everywhere they went. But let's keep it moving. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, red meaning Esau. Red meaning Esau. That has grown. Having 7 heads, which is the 7 continents, and 10 horns, meaning 10 powers upon those continents, and 7 crowns upon his head. 7 kingdoms on those continents, right? And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars, which is we were stars, right? Manipulated us as Israel. Now we have died and lost our identity, which we will find over in Revelations 11. Which you'll find in Revelations 11. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Now, if you go to Isaiah chapter 9, it talks about in verse 5 through 7. I don't want to break it up, but I just want to tell y'all the story, just give you an understanding before I go. If I go there, I have to break it down. It talks about unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. It's talking about in verse 5, though, before you even get to that part. In verse 5, it's talking about these things are happening with confused noise. You're going through a spiritual situation because I went through it. With confused noise and garments rolled in blood. These are things happening spiritually with you when the spirit is dealing with you and you're going through your awakening. And I'm telling you what I know because I've been there and I went through it. All right? That's why I'm sharing with you what I know. Not what I believe, but what I know. So that is, and the dragon, don't forget, Satan, or should I say the negative spirit and the positive spirit is always there. Especially at that time when you're going through, because I was going through some turmoil and I was being with the confused noise. So that's your Satan at the time, or the negative spirit. But now let's go over here to Revelation 13. Let's break this down real quick. I'm not going to be too short because we already 40-something minutes in already. And I'm just trying to break down the first point compared to last week. So, but the spiritual point is coming in part 2. So let's keep it moving. Now, the first beast, chapter 13 and 1. Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, meaning the sea of people, as far as I'm concerned, having 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 continents, and 10 powers upon those continents, and upon his horns, upon those powers, 10 crowns, which is 10 kingdoms. Did that last night. Glad I drunk all that. Same thing I did. I knocked that baby over last night. I'm glad I drunk all that. What my glasses so I'm good. It says, and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, which is 10 powers, and upon his heads let me come back up. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 7 continents, and 10 horns, 10 powers, and upon his horns 10 crowns, 10 kingdoms. 10 kingdoms, right? Crowns mean kingdoms. Kings, crowns, kingdoms. Upon his heads and the name of blasphemy. The name of blasphemy is all these different religions that's doing that has taking on God in their religion when the Creator never gave a religion. He only gave his name, he only gave his laws and his commandments and his judgments and his statutes. That's all he gave, which are laws. That's what the Creator gave, right? Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, which was a part of the dream in Nebuchadnezzar's dream in Daniel 7. In Daniel 7, pardon, the leopard and his feet was as the feet of a bear. So we had portions as part of, like I said, Rome consumed these other nations as well, as I shared with you. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. But the key is here. And the dragon, which is Greek, and the dragon gave him his seat, his power, and his seat and great authority. They relinquished their power over to Rome. All right? And I saw, verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. All the world wondered after the beast. That beast, the part of that beast is Jesus, which is the Roman Empire, Yahshua, Prophet Muhammad, Emmanuel, Buddha, anything that is of a religion is of the Roman Empire. It said all the world wanted after the beast. But just to give you clarity on the deadly wound that was healed, that deadly wound was Christianity. Deadly wound, Christianity was going through some turmoil with two different groups. You had the Arians and you had the bishops that King Constantine put together. They was going at it for 56 years, from 325 AD to 381 AD. 325 to 381, that was 56 years that they were going through, and I have information right here in the paperwork, right? Let me read some of it for you since we're going through it. I didn't share this last week, so this is the plus. And I've been sharing this. I don't know if y'all been checking out my other information anyway, but since we're here with the 400 years, let's go ahead and make it pertinent. What occurred at the Council of Nicaea? I'm going to give you some key points to let you understand why it was said the deadly wound. Understand why. Understanding will keep thee. Why it said the deadly wound was healed. I'm about to give it to you. What occurred at the Council of Nicaea? The Council of Nicaea took place in 325 AD by order of Roman Emperor Caesar Flavius Constantine. Nicaea was located in Asia Minor, east of Constantinople. At the Council of Nicaea, Emperor Constantine presided over a group of church bishops and other leaders, with the purpose of defending the nature of God. You see that? With defending the nature of God. We didn't have to defend it. We lived in it. Israel lived in it. That's why you got to understand this is a whole different culture, concept, what they made up. We lived in the law. Leaders with the purpose of defending the nature of God for all Christianity and eliminating confusion. There you go. Eliminating confusion, controversy, and contention within the church. See what was going on? And this is when there was putting together the gospel. The four God spells. Y'all look up that word gospel in an etymology dictionary. Excuse me. And the council of in contention with the church. The Council of Nicaea overwhelmingly affirmed the deity and eternity of Jesus. See, listen to what this said. The Council of Nicaea overwhelmingly affirmed the deity of and eternity of Jesus Christ. They affirmed that. They affirmed that. This is why I try to get people don't study. The Council of Nicaea affirmed that. It says again, the Council of Nicaea overwhelmingly affirmed the deity and eternity of Jesus Christ and defended, and defined, I said defended, and defined the relationship between the Father and the Son. See, they did. This is Christianity that did that. Define the relationship between the Father and the Son, and as of one substance. It also affirmed the Trinity. See, it affirmed the Trinity. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were listed as three co-equal and co-eternal persons. They did that. The Council of Nicaea did that. They put that together. Then it says, Constantine, who claimed conversion to Christianity, called for a meeting of bishops to be held in Nicaea to resolve some escalating controversies among the church leadership. The issues being debated include the nature of Jesus. See, include the nature of Jesus Christ. See, they're putting this together. They wasn't there. They put this together. The nature of Jesus Christ, the proper date to celebrate Easter. Easter is from Esdras. Esdras is a god of the Sodian, who Jezebel is from. The tribe and the people that Jezebel is from. I can't think of the name. Zodianites or Zidonians. I think it's Zidonians. Esther. See, I told you, Rome has consumed all these different things and they gave it to the world, and you're living something that you don't even know what you're living. Zidonians is Esther. That's their god is Esther, the goddess of fertility. Isn't that what the rabbit is for? They're supposed to be laying eggs. Rabbits don't lay eggs. See how they just got things mixed up and got the people following it? But let's keep it moving. Where did I stop off at? Let me start back. Constantine, who claimed conversion to Christianity, called for a meeting of bishops to be held in Nicaea to resolve some escalating controversies among the church leadership. The issues being debated include the nature of Jesus Christ, the proper date to celebrate. See that, to celebrate Easter around the equinox of the spring of the new year, and other matters. The family of the failing Roman Empire, the failing Roman Empire, and other matters. The failing Roman Empire, now under Constantine's rule, could not withstand the division caused by years of hard fought, out of hand arguing over doctrinal differences. This is your verse 3 when it says, and I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death. Revelation 13:3. And his deadly wound was healed. This is what Constantine doing right now. But out of hand arguing over doctrinal differences, the emperor saw the quarrels within the church not only as a threat to Christianity. That's why the world is running after Christianity. The world is running after the beast. The world is under the beast and after the beast, because everybody say Christian. They're Christian. Christianity is their religion. Only as a threat to Christianity, but as a threat to society as well. Therefore, at the Council of Nicaea, Constantine encouraged the church leaders to settle their internal disagreements and become Christ-like agents. Become Christ-like agents who could bring new life to a troubled empire. New life. The deadly wound was healed. That's the deadly wound. All that fighting and over the church and all this and that. They was prosecuting the Israelites at one time. That old Paul supposed to be a prosecutor, right? Persecuting, shall I say. Persecuting, prosecuting. Both of them about the same. and become Christ-like agents who could bring new life to a troubled empire. Constantine felt called to use his authority to help bring about unity, peace, and love within the church. That was his power because he was king. Hold on. Now, let me just go ahead and jump on over here to the second portion because I'm not trying to be on here long, even though I've been on here for a little while. Second portion. See right there? What happened at the Council of Constantinople? What happened at the Council? Now read this. Check this out. This is 56 years later. Spoiler. But what happened at the Council of Constantinople? The first Council of Constantinople occurred in 381 AD, 325 to 381, in the city of the same name, modern Istanbul, Turkey. It is considered the second of the ecumenical councils after Nicaea in 325. At the Council of Constantinople, Christian bishops convened to settle several doctrinal disputes prompted by unrest in the religious leadership of the city. Been going on for 56 years. That's the deadly wound of Christianity. Before Christianity became solid. I ain't got to the main part yet. It says, Christian bishops convened to settle several doctrinal disputes prompted by unrest in the religious leadership of the city. While not as memorable as the Council of Nicaea, the council dealt a fatal blow. Deadly wound. The council dealt a fatal blow to Arianism. Arianism, them was the ones who said that, he was just a prophet. He wasn't no more than a man, and he did the things that prophets did of old. But this is where the bishops got together. No, he was more than a prophet. He's the Son of God. He's the Trinity. He's this, he's that, this and that, this and that. And every time somebody turn around, that's Jesus, Jesus. Every time you turn around, everything is Jesus. That's because they got the world in a hook bag. Hook, line, and sinker. When you go read your history, look at prophecy, understand the word of Yah, you get a better understanding. Now, again, while not as memorable as the Council of Nicaea, the council dealt a fatal blow to Arianism, clarified the language used to describe the Trinity, see there? And sharpen the distinction between the eastern and the western branches of the church. Let me get you one more. One more paragraph, and then we'll get back to 13. I'm giving you understanding that Christianity is the deadly wound that was healed. The immediate motivation behind calling the first Council of Constantinople was a series of controversies. The Council of Nicaea had met more than 50 years prior to settle the Arian Council. More than 50 years. This was 56 years. A half a century. Had met more than 50 years prior to settle the Arian controversy. A debate over whether, check this out, a debate over whether or not Jesus was fully divine, despite the council's nearly 302 decision. Rejecting Arianism, the view persisted and continued to cause division among the Christians. Constantinople itself was considered an Arian city until the new emperor Theodosius I attempted to forcibly replace the church leaders with non-Arians. That's how the deadly wound was healed. By getting them Arians out, kept Christianity and made it what it was, and that's how you got number 3, right here. Revelations 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. That was what we just read. And this is old Rome right here. And all the world wandered after the beast, just like they're doing right now. They're wandering after Jesus. They're wandering after everything that the beast do. The world is on. The world is on it. The whole world is on it. They ain't trying to come out neither. Verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast. They worship Rome, and they worship the beast, which is they worship Greek, and they worship the beast, which is Rome. They worship the dragon, which is Greek. They worship Rome, which is the beast. They worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Who is like unto Rome? Who is able to make war with him? Verse 5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And this is where the Christianity comes in at. With your Jesus. And all the other stuff they put in there that's not true according to Yah's word. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. Excuse me. And power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. Now, to me, that 40 and 2 months was him going around making people accept Christianity. When I say him, I'm talking about the Roman Empire. Verse 6. And he opened his mouth, check this out, in blasphemy against Yah. How many people saying, Jesus, Jesus this, Jesus that? I showed just last night. When they stole, every mouth shall swear, and every knee shall bow, and every mouth shall swear that I am. They stole that from Yah out of Isaiah 45:23, actually 22 and 23, and gave it to Jesus. They stole that. The Council of Nicaea did when they put the New Testament together. But let's keep it moving. And he opened his mouth, verse 6, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yah to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. He blasphemed the Creator's name. Yep. Verse 7. Excuse me. Verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, with Israel. It was given unto him, given unto him. Given. Who gave it? The Creator. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over, here we go, all kindreds and tongues and nations. This is the Roman Empire. They were over everybody in every way. Excuse me, y'all, trying to hit me. Over all this, verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth that shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb. In the book of life of the Spirit of Yah. But they ain't going to have the Spirit on them. That's going to be the book of the Spirit. The anointed Spirit, the Holy Spirit, however you want to call it. Excuse me. Verse 8 again. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name are not written in the book of life, the Lamb slain. Excuse me. The Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. That was us. Israel was slain from the foundation of the world. The anointing was upon Israel in the wilderness in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 3, 7, and 8. Them are your key verses. Verse 3, 7, and 8, but you can read the whole thing to get a better understanding. All right. 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. We're the saints. I know I got this class in the morning, so I ain't gonna make it too long, but I gotta hit this where y'all can hear it. Revelation 13:11. Revelation 13:11. Now, a lot of this right here that's going on right here in verse 10, he that leads into captivity. A lot of stuff is going on with the people that have the adrenochrome, the child bear, all that stuff that's been going on. They're gonna have to deal with that part there. Now, here go United States. How it was, how it is, the second beast. The second beast right here. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Two horns, a lamb is young, which is the youngest government that rose up at the time. United States. And the two horns is Democrat and Republican. Excuse me. Democrat and Republican. Whoever won spoke as a what? Dragon. Whoever won spoke as a dragon. Either one. Verse 12. And he exercised, let me read that with 11 again. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast. First Rome. The first beast, Revelation 13 and 1. Old Rome. This is New Rome. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, which is the Roman Empire, which is the religion that they gave. Worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, Christianity, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, which he did it with the tanks, planes, and things like that, as well as Hiroshima. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of, excuse me, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, check this out. The earth, saying them that dwell on the earth, there you go, that they should make an image. Now here go your Jesus. Your image is your Jesus. Your cross is your symbol. Your image is your Jesus. That they should make them and make an image to the beast, which is to the Roman Empire, which had the wound by a sword and did live, which had Christianity. Now they're putting Jesus to Christianity, which is the womb. Excuse me, y'all. Trying to come down. Again, on the earth, they should make an image to the beast, which had the womb by a sword and did live, which is, like I said, which is Christianity. Excuse me, y'all. Hope you ain't missed too much over there, Facebook. Verse 15. And he had power, he who? And he had power, the beast had power to give life unto the image. How did he give life unto the image? When you go to your New Testament and you read this red writing, when you read this red writing in the New Testament, that's how they brought him to life. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? All that red writing they got in there, that red writing brought him to life. When you write in red or blue, it shows you're alive. When you write in black, it shows you're dead. Purple means royalty. Oh, shoot. That's where I was at. Hold on, y'all. Back to Revelation 13. Right here. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which is Jesus, that the image of the beast should both speak. It says speak. It gave life by making it speak. People believe in Jesus today by the red writing in the book. And a lot of people don't want to accept the truth. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's what they was doing at one time. They was killing people at one time for that point. Excuse me. Now, should be killed. 16. And he causes, who? The beast causes. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and say, or in their foreheads. And that right hand was the jab, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of things happen after that. 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. That's Vicarious Philly D. Which I'm going to show you. This is your Luke in Acts. Your Luke wrote Acts and he wrote the book of Luke, but he wasn't there to even that's false, bearing false witness. Oh, I think it was already heading on me. Thought I didn't. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. Boy, this street kind of come down on me. I got class in the morning. Oh no, here we go. I want y'all to see that. Vicarious Philly D. Research that and pull the name up and check it out. Vicarious Philly D. Vicarious Philly D, Latin, vicar or representative of the Son of God, as a phrase first used in the forged medieval donation of Constantine to refer to Saint Peter, who is regarded as the. It got cut off. As the vicar of the Son of God. There you go. As the vicar of the Son of God or representative of the Son of God. There you go. That's the other part. Here's a more detailed explanation. Origin. The phrase is Latin and it's being used in the context of the Catholic Church, particularly in relation to the Pope. Meaning vicarious meaning vicar or representative, while Philly D translates to of the son of. What is the number 666 for the Pope? That's right there, though. You can barely see it. You can barely see it from right here at the top. But right here, I got it actually marked in yellow. Just so y'all can see it. Excuse me, y'all. I'm tired. Coming back down on me. All right. It says, this historical interpretation identifies the number 666 with the papal title, Vicarious Philly D, meaning vicar of the Son of God. The phrase has been used by popes for centuries to defend their ecclesiastical and temporal authority. I just mainly wanted to get y'all that 13 to understand what was going on. 113. Well, what I'm going to have to do here to take you now, I did this last week. I'm going to have to take you to portions of 11. I had to go through all that. My whole part one was taking you through to understand shortcuts, to try to get to understand the prophecies and the information leading up to the 400 years, which is what we just come out of. And I shared you what the 400 years was, all the things that happened in between, what we just come out of, which is the mark, which is, if y'all ever get time, it's called what's it called? Suddenly, it was a video, and it was talking about how many people that took the vaccine that passed. I forgot it called sudden death. It was called, it wasn't sudden death, suddenly dead, sudden something like that. I forgot. It was on Patreon. I was sharing it, but that was a while ago. But the whole point is that was the mark, and it changed your DNA, right? Now, Revelation 11, it talked about the two witnesses. Now I'm gonna break this down kind of quick. Now, because I'm going from the two witnesses on into, that's what I'm gonna do, to the spiritual portion. I'm going from the two witnesses on into the spiritual portion in part 2. We got an hour and 15 minutes in. Yeah, I'll do that. Because the spiritual portion is where we at today and how we're waking up. So, I'm going to start off with chapter 11. But before I do that, let me add something. Let me share with you on the conquering of Esau taking over the earth first. All right? Oh, this is a lot. I just realized it's a lot that I got. Oh, man, it's a lot that just hit me that I got to share with y'all. But so let me go over here to 5 first. Nope, chapter 6. All that, I guess part 2 is going to be the spiritual. Because, yeah, I'm going to have to do this. Right here. The pale horse, right? We'll start with 1, then we'll go with 7 and 8. All right, chapter 6, Revelation 6, 7, 1, then 7 and 8 says, verse 6, chapter 6, verse 1, it says, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see. Now, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see, when he opened up, what he said, what Bill was, that was the 4th beast saying, come and see. There was one of the 4 beasts saying, when I opened the seals, this is the seals, and I heard as it were of the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, So on the 4 beasts, 4 world powers. All right. 7. And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast saying, the 4th beast, 4th world power, 4th world generation, which is the Roman Empire. Come and see. Now this is spiritual here we're looking at, because this is what they did. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. A pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death. Everywhere you look in this country, all on TV, is all about death. War and death. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him, and power was given unto him over the 4th part of the earth. What 4th part of the earth? The 4th kingdom. 3rd and 4th generation, the 4th generation, the 4th kingdom. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with the sword, that's war, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. That's the judgments of Yah. That's the judgment in Ezekiel chapter 13, 14. Those are the judgments of the Creator that he used them to use them with. So, mainly I wanted to get that to show you who the pale horse is. All right. So now let's go over here to 11. Got to give you this because the spiritual is coming next. And the image of the beast, as I shared with you, was Jesus. So when you go there and you start to find out proof, I got to give you proof. So man, I feel like I'm prolonging, but I got to give you the proof. I'm going to show you the difference in the proof between the prophet and between what was put there. There we go. 4 and 5. Okay. In chapter 4, you had examples. Look at the wording and what was said. In chapter 4, Matthew 4, verse 3, it says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, I'm saying God at this point, command that these stones be made bread. And what he said, but he answered and said, it is written. And who written it? That's the word of Yah. It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds. Say it again. But by every word, what? But by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yah. Yah. Every word. Then the devil take him up into the holy city, and okay. And Jesus said unto him, it is written again. Look, this is the difference I'm trying to get you to understand. What's written? It is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. And that is written. I should take you back there and look for it, but I ain't got time. But it's written in the word. Everything he's saying is written. And then, this is your key right here, verse 8, 9, and 10. Again, the devil take him up into a exceedingly high mountain and show of him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and said unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Isn't that what's going on today? The fact that I look at it like this. Y'all falling down and worshiping Jesus, so a lot of things is happening in Jesus' name, according to this. Satan said he'll give Jesus all these things if he fall down. The whole world know Jesus, don't they? Majority of the world know Jesus, then they know Yahshua. His name was Yahshua, right? That's what I'm getting at. Oh, the whole world don't know Jesus. They think they know Jesus is more known worldwide than Yahshua, though, isn't he? According to Christianity. All right. Then said, quote unquote, Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy Father, and him only shalt thou serve. That's your facts. And this is your key, what he came for in verse 17. From that time, he began to preach and say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's what the prophet came to do, to tell people to turn and repent. But let's go over here to Matthew chapter 5, right? Everything from 17 to 20 is true. But what happened over here in 21? Verse 21, 5 and 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time. That right there is blatant disrespect to the created word. He said over here to the devil, or Satan, or whatever you want to call him, it is written. Look over here. Ye have heard it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not. But I say unto you, I'm just giving you the difference. Blaspheming the creator's word. But I say unto you, let's go over here to 27. Don't make a difference. I'm just looking at what was said before we came after it. I ain't got time to break it all down, but I'm giving you understanding. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, verse 27, Matthew 5, 27. But I say unto you, that's why I wanted to show you. Let's keep it moving. 31, on divorce. It has been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a right of divorcement. But I say unto you, that's why I keep trying to get people to see. You never heard none of the prophets say like that. Saying anything, I. But I say unto you. Excuse me. So, mainly I'm just sharing with y'all what happened. All right? Showing you how the Roman Empire gave you this according to their own words. There we go. Okay. Let's get back over here. Revelation 11. The two witnesses start from verse 3. I'm going to break it down just a little bit. I ain't going to do the whole thing because it's already late. And y'all see this sleep kind of hit me. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days. clothed in sackcloth. All right. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Yah of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth. What happened with Elijah, or that was Elisha. Elisha burnt up 102 men. Not with his regular mouth, he called it down from heaven. All right. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy what did I just say? Call fire down from heaven. Oh yeah, Elijah. In Genesis, in 2 Kings chapter 1. Chapter 1 and or chapter 2. 2 Kings. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Yah of the earth. And that's Israel, because they were the ones who were anointed. If any man will hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth. That's why I'm sharing. And devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Verse 6. These have power to shut heaven that it rain not. That's what Elisha did and Elijah. That it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them. Did not Moses do that? Have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, see, this is what I mean by this is Judah and Israel. Jacob in Israel or Judah in Israel, however you want to put it, it's all Israel. But these are the two witnesses, either one wicked and the one righteous, which is a lot of people out here think they're doing right and they're not. Just saying. So it says, and I meant that in the two differences, wicked and righteous Israel, or either Judah and Israel itself, Judah being the head, then Israel, or either Jacob and Israel. Jacob is out here doing their thing, is still a witness, and righteous Israel, which is Israel itself. All that's with verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. That's the Roman Empire. What we just got through reading in Revelation 13 and Revelations 6. The pale horse. Pale horse. Just thought about their skin. Look pale, don't it? The pale man. And shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually, the key is spiritually is called Sodom. Where we at right now? Right now, Sodom is Atlanta. It's a great city too, isn't it? But I would look at this as United States altogether, though, maybe. Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So I look at that as us being dying out here in these streets, us as a people. All right. Excuse me, y'all, I'm getting tired. Can't really stay focused and tell you all the nuggets with what I'm sharing, but I'm trying. And they of the people and kindred and tongues and nations all see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. That is Israel. That's us. Befriending them, but yet still they're not really, some are not really like that with us. Can't say all. There we go. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half. 3 days and a half, that half is the 400 years, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth, which is Israel and Judah or Israel and Jacob, either or. And after 3 days and a half, see, after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yah, and that's what I'm about to get to next. The spirit of life from Yah, which is his word, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. Oh, that's it, y'all, for part one. This is 400 years contract complete part two. This is part one of part two. Part two we'll be right back for. But before we get there and before we leave, I always got to say that I am that Mikhael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you living in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikhael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This prophesies to you to see that Mikhael is really me. We'll be right back with part two. And we're going to go spiritual now. We're going to go with Israel, how we have awoken, where we at in this day and time. And this is the conclusion of part one. No, that's a lot. The conclusion. Yep, that's a lot to go with that. But other than that, we're going to pause you over here, Gus, my brother Gus. I'm glad you're here. Let's see if anybody said anything over here. I'd like to see some people. Glad some people that came. Nobody on Facebook. We did have my brother Robert. He said pale Caucasian. Yup. We had Dr. Kim Farrell. Thank you, Kim, for coming in, sis. Oh, that's my girl out of Cincinnati. Not Cincinnati. What's the name of that down there? This other part sound like can't think of right now. But yeah, good to see you, Kim. My brother Bernard was here. We not all awake. Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree. A lot of people are not awake. But it's up to them to try to get there. And the Father, this is the part I'm about to give in a few minutes, the awakening. This is the awakening point. Yeah, everybody not awakening? Thank you, Almighty. I'm glad you said that, Robert. Everybody is not awoke. But we are awakening, and I'm one that's giving the information to show so you can see. So the awakening point is part two. I want to see. I want to just do number two. I want to put something else there, but we'll see. Other than that, I thank y'all for y'all time, your patience, your listening there, your seeing. I will be right back with part two in a few minutes. Maybe I can go get me some more water. I can, cause my eyes when I was going through it, it was like trying to come down on me. But you see, I kind of perked up a little bit. So I'm gonna be right back in a few minutes. We're gonna say pause right quick to Gus. Be right back, Gus. And peace. Okay. I'll be right back.
Recording stopped.
Okay, good. Now, over here on YouTube, we'll be right back. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening there, your seeing now. I know I didn't do all the credentials about everything about going yet, but I will tell everybody that we will have introduction to solving classes of knowledge in the rising. We will have introduction to solving classes of knowledge in the rising. If you're interested, come on through. My link is there. Text me your name, number, and email at 770-572-5315. Again, that's 770-572-5315. Or email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. Text me your name, number, and email. Say you want to know more about the classes, what have you. And we'll go from there. Other than that, Facebook, or shall I say YouTube, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening there, your seeing. I will be right back with part two. Peace.